Okay, this is the Breast Love One Healer Terrell now here on YouTube. I'm gonna do a video. It might wind up being, well, I just did one, but it's probably gonna be two to get all these cards in. I did it yesterday, but the video cut off for me. So I'm just trying to see, as far as God being able to tell me if this person gonna be caught. This person who murdered my nephew 2020. Who murdered my nephew, that's still roaming the streets, that needs to be behind bars because he is a danger to society. He is a liability to anybody who's walking the streets. He need to be behind bars. He's been able to get away with just being scot-free, eating his Thanksgiving dinner, having fun at Christmas with his family, and just having a good old time, smoking his blunts, drinking his beer, taking his drugs, or whatever he did. All these years after, it's time for you to pay. It's time for you to pay the price, pay the piper. Okay, let's just flow. So we're gonna go with, let's go with which one first, because my nephew was murdered. Let's just say that my nephew was murdered. My nephew was 29 years old. He got murdered. He was a rapper. My nephew was on his way, getting ready to go to Atlanta to do a show. But he didn't get a chance to do it. He went to warm the car up or something like that. Car kind of eased up on him. And person jumped out and shot him 7 times. So the guy got off 2 times with each trial because the camera footage was fuzzy when you can't really make the person out. So you can't say somebody guilty if you can't see for sure. I know that when it comes down to court. But that still leaves it where who murdered my nephew. That person need to be punished and put behind bars. And that's what I want God to tell me. Is this person going to be put behind bars before this year's out? So my family can have the total closure that they deserve. Okay, so let's go with, I'm going to start with my nephew did a show that night at a place. He left the place with a person that he knew that's one of his friends, but one I think he didn't see in a long time or something, because that person offered to take him to the airport or something. So he went there. So he went, sit a little bit because he just did a show, and I think the show ended like 1 o'clock or whatever. So by the time he got to his friend's house, it might have been 2 in the morning. I just don't know, right? But he didn't have a chance to sit down long because he had to leave out so he can be able to go to the airport. So he got murdered after 5, a little bit after 5, at the car. He had coffee, so the coffee probably was to keep him woke. So coffee was on top of the car, so he probably opened up the car door, was turning the car on to warm it up because snow was out there. So he got murdered and he's laying out in the snow. So it's supposed to be mistaken identity, as the law said. So the person thought he was the original person, and that would be the friend of his whose house he was at. Get my drift? So when he came out and he went to the car, the people was lying in wait wherever they were in cars sitting waiting, and they assumed my nephew was that person. Get my drift? So when the shooting happened, and then eventually that person came running out, he got shot in the leg. That the intended person, right? My nephew got shot 7 times, like I said, right? And this person got shot once in the leg. He ran back to go to his house, or wherever he went at, I don't know. So I don't know. That guy got let out, but I don't know if the guy actually didn't do it, but he hired somebody to do it. He involved because the car that was in his possession was the car the person jumped out of, so he's not totally innocent. Get what I'm saying? So let's just say, let's go with, is this my nephew one? Because it was a lot of cards yesterday. Let's just say, let me just say, okay, I think I'm going to take this. Okay, can he really cope? Everybody know. Everybody know, the family, friends, everybody, family, friends, community or whatever know something as far as something. Wait. Is this that guy? Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Which one this is? Is this the guy? So we have a guy. Yeah. Let's see something. Yeah. So we have a guy who was mad because his child's mother decided to date somebody else. So him and the guy had a beef, or whatever you call it, online, on the phone, or however, in person, or whatever it might have been like. So it was ongoing, I guess, for some years or whatever. He decided one day, I guess, he is going to try to get rid of him, maybe, or whatever. So let's just start with this card. Everybody know, the family, friends, or whoever know, maybe about they had a misunderstanding or whatever, or his woman that he used to have was seeing somebody new or whatever this is. But can he cope? Okay, so the lawsuit card, I'm going to call child support. So she is going to probably do child support on him, probably, because he didn't have a job and she was finished with him. So he felt like he is a magnet to her, chained to her. She created a monster in him, common law. Okay, she might have been with him a little while. So we have right here that he was a monster and corny, right? So he wondering, is she ashamed of him? Because he want to know, when you coming back home to my heart, right? So somebody confused her. He was confused about his lover, about her, because she stepped out. She might have been cheating or whatever happened there. And then he found out, and then she broke up with him or whatever. He want to go for a walk, hold me in your arms, want to get back together, want to fix this or whatever. He wanted to know, did she really care? Or was he just a placement for her, or turn it around the other way? Because she felt she was single and free, and courting was wonderful. So she met this guy I'm telling you about, right? The person who, my nephew's friend, that guy there. So we have, she wanted to dive in and feel his touch, or he wanted to feel hers, however it goes, right? Or her original person, that would be her child's father, because he wanted things to be like it used to be. Please don't let your family, friends, or nobody tear us apart, because he wanted some hugs. He wanted to caress her so tight. Cheating should be the last thing she did, right? When she can just break up with her man. Break up with who you got, your child's father, and then you can go be with whoever you want and just cook with that thing, right? So we have right here, he wanted to be the extension to his child, right? His child that he had by her. He pinpointed and complained to her about her cheating, or people in the neighborhood knowing about, or whatever this is, right? He gave her a lot of power because he wanted to be pick me. Okay, so she wanted to manifest her desires, or he wanted to manifest his, right? Because he said, can we be friends? And she was saying, no, she didn't want to be friends. She just wanted to be free. She spelled it out and expected nothing less than the best. So he wanted some face-to-face time with her, because he was going to come clean, or he wanted her to come clean. So he was dealing with a crowd with intense energy, right? So God didn't want her to lower her standards for him. He felt like she won't talk, but it was vital that she talk. So she had to start taking care of herself, because she is promiscuous, because she is cheating with this guy that she made her boyfriend after a while, right? Somebody who asked for her house number, or she asked him for his, however it goes, right? So her child's father wanted her to stay with him, right? Because she is vibrant. So we have, honestly. So let's make love to your favorite song. Love song, to love is a feel in another's heart. This is the child's father trying to hold on to her or get her back. Stitching things, right? Trying to mend things with her. So he is in his emotions, wanting her to get in her emotions too. So he saw her plenty of times. Or the new man saw her plenty of times. So he wanted her to take down the walls for love and cheat on any achievements that he had, right? So this is her twin flame, though. Let's see. Her twin flame. Which one is her twin flame? There's a thin layer of hope. The twin flame arrives. He wanted to be picked. I miss you. Let's still think her child's father is the twin flame, but anyway. Okay, that he was keeping his ears closed to what she was saying, but she was keeping her ears closed to what he was saying. He wanted to know, did she do it? She admitted, yeah, she did it, she cheated or whatever. Okay, so he captured all love with her, but she captured all love with this new guy, my nephew's friend. Okay, she's going to be considerate of her partner. I'm not selfish because I want a whole man, so I feel he wasn't working. She moved fast on it. As far as making a decision to drop him, she was going to continue her life. It was a wake-up time, so she walked away from him, doing some bird watching, and that is looking at other guys. Follow me? Okay, she was beautiful. He felt like the child's father, right? So he wanted to sit down with her, laugh at the oldies, the old times, anything like that. Let's do it all together as a family. So we got number 2. So we got the twin flame here, so boys and girls. So he had a weakness for lovemaking with her, but she had a weakness for caring somewhat. So he was becoming unhinged, upset, unboxed, because allegations, charges, or whatever was being stacked up against him, or just her complaining or whatever. Something come from his childhood. He had to look at things and not run from it. So he is playing his part, and he wanted to be that lion to his cub. That would be his child that he had by this female. Okay, so he wanted to drop his burdens. Strike that. God wanted her to drop her burdens because he wasn't a God-like husband, right? So he wanted her to invite in the warmest love of all, but she had to be the best queen she could be. She was letting him know, I'm not a slut, right? Because somebody wanted to love her in secret, right? Or let's put it this way, she was talking to somebody on the side, so she needed to show that she wasn't one. So that means she needed to let go of her child's father to be able to be with the other man fully, right? She had to cover her genitals, or her child's father needed to. So who was the prince in her life? Because she wanted to pin her name on the prince in her life, so she was looking at the new man as the prince in her life. Follow me? She needed to cover her genitals. She wasn't a slut. So and still some tenderness. No more watering things down with her child's father. She was making a change. She wanted to know, was it all over with the caravan? So evidently he must do cheating himself or something like that. So I have heartfelt desire for you. This would be him telling her don't run from his love, because it got dismantled, the connection between the two. She felt he wasn't no better than her because he did this. Evidently, if it was done to you, would you like it? So I think he might have did this to her before, so she stepped out. God told her don't waste her time. Okay. He wanted her to desire him, so it was markers that she see now that she needed to break her loose from her child's father, because he was a dusty, right? He needed to come up to par. So we have right here that she is being controlled by him because she's fooling herself, thinking that she wasn't. So he wanted her to care with him, justify. He wanted her to justify and care with him because it was like war games, like a pendulum dealing with him. So he wanted the whole pot a lot of times or whatever, so I guess she was tired of it. So she decided to step out herself. So God told her, get out of this mess. He was running up her peace or running up the bills or both. He wanted to express something over candlelight, something unconventional. Just sit down and talk, right? Because you are mine, never forget that, he telling her. Are you coming back to me? He wanted her to come back to his heart light. So he had to make no excuses as far as work and get a job and work harder on trying to make that happen. He was telling her she light up his life and be simply honest, because he wanted to pillow talk with her as far as he talked on the phone, but he wanted to lay down beside her. So she was going to accept any money given to her because she was gorgeous, because the new man she met gave her money some kind of way. Follow me? Because she wanted to meet new people and fresh personalities. So she marveled at that thing, having a candlelight love. That means going to meet this new man, right? So she put a margin between her and her child's father because she didn't want to be confused. So something was suspendable. The next one is, where is your princess? Because he felt like he would win if he get his princess. So he considered her his princess. but she considered the new man her prince. Get what I just said, right? So this would be the actual man that brewed all of this stuff up. This is him because he wanted his woman back. Number one, okay? So you're gonna hear me say certain things. Just bear with me. So the next one would be, let's see. I'm trying to move this along. This is him. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. So we have my nephew. Wait a minute. A lot of cards. Okay, this would be him. It's my nephew, right? Okay, this is my nephew, okay? My nephew needed a ride because to the airport. Follow me? Wait a minute. Shelter. Wait a minute. Let's see if I got the right one. Bear with me for a minute. I gotta see something. Chicken shelter. Okay, let's see something. Wait a minute. Okay. My nephew needed a ride to the airport, but he went to a friend's house, this card right here. He sustained himself at a shelter. It wasn't a shelter, it was a person's house, right? At the person's apartment. But something was too far getting there on time. He wanted to get there on time, so an old friend of his said that he saw at the show he just was doing. Oh, I'll take you to the airport. So just come on and sit at my house and I'll take you. So that's what he did. But he needed to proceed with caution because he had a bill to pay. He needed to let God and boom, let spirit in. So he was motivated, my nephew, right? Because he was strong. So he's going to take what the joyous occasion to get that ride, right? So we have right here, I'm not going to be your hermit. I'm not going to be the hermit while you shine. So we have right here that the girl you just heard me talk about, the female you heard me talk about, her man, her child's father, he feel like he's the hermit, and this new guy over here, the friend of my nephew's, where my nephew got the ride from, that person there is the person who's shining. Get my direction, okay? So we have that, I have been chasing you. So we have, he been chasing, coming after the new guy. I'm going to call him D, okay? Coming after D, right? So the other guy is C, right? So we got C and D. Let me just say it, right? So C and D. So we got D. C is coming after D. I've been chasing you. Hide up or whatever's going on, right? Can we do it now or will we do it? So we have right here that, can we do it now? It's going to cost you. So all of this goes with, let me see if this is him. Let me see something. All of this might be him. All of this might be his. So let's see how I can work this. Let's explore a little bit. Somebody might be high or anything like that. It's going to cost you. Maybe he says it's going to cost you for me to take you or something like that. Can we do it now? Okay. So he had to assess and be assertive. Okay, but it was a mystery to all that D had a lot of demons he needed to confront. Okay, so we have, my nephew was marveling at it. Marveling at what? The gate. Getting that ride. Get what I'm saying, right? So we have that something was on the computer some kind of way. So somebody knew a secret that they could acknowledge as far as something on the internet, right? So we have right here that my nephew had a history with this person here. He knew this person, right? But then we have the man C. He had a history with his child's mother. And he wanted to make D walk into D's destiny. Get what I just said? But instead, the shooter made my nephew walk into his destiny because they said it was mistaken identity. He shot the wrong person. Or he sent somebody else to shoot the wrong person. Get my drift? Okay, he might have had some kind of strong cologne. So we have he was gonna be the chairperson of his own life. So we have did he have burdens? If he did, he had to make things right. That would be my nephew, I feel right there. So he joined something, a party, but it wasn't really a party. It was a gathering because he did a show, my nephew, that night, right? Up until like 1 o'clock or whatever time. It ended 2 o'clock. Here's a pioneer, God says. So we have 6. So we have somebody asked for his number and accepted it, and it could have been that guy right there. Man, what's your new number or whatever, anything like that, because if he ain't seen him in a while, because you know how people be on Instagram, they be telling all about all the stuff going on with them, and they end up at your show or whatever they do. So it's competition in business, and it was cruddy as far as my nephew evidently, I mean, that's business, so he's going to be sincere and gather up everything to get started as far as to go do a show in Atlanta. Follow me? What is superficial? So looking at what's a cabbage breaker that's going to take the dough from him, take his money out of him, right? So he needed to get out of any circles that kept him stuck and see what others was doing to keep him stuck. Get what I just said, right? Because people will try to, what you call it? I can't think of the word. People will try to mess you up where you miss your appointment. Give you a bunch of drinks, or hey, you drinking a bunch, next thing you know, you miss your plane. Get what I'm saying? Sabotage, that's what I mean. Help was a minute away, and that would be his friend that was going to take him to the airport. So his father didn't show him love, or his friend's father didn't show him love. Didn't get along good with the father, something going with the father. So shortly he's going to be going to Atlanta with this card. Okay, he worked on it 2 days of the week, practicing for going there, right, to do a show, national. Number 14, number 41, number 1, number 5, number 4. So we have right here that he didn't control the outcome. He didn't know what was going to happen to him. That's all he knew. He was going to sit there to wait till it get late enough to go, to the airport. He had to be okay with his looks and know he was handsome. For him to say that, I feel like because my nephew was dark. And maybe dark, and he looked however he looked, so maybe he thought some kind of way about how he looked or something, maybe. Because I don't see nothing else to make him feel like that. Okay, he might have ate a certain kind of way, or somebody talked to him about eating a certain kind of way. He was trying to build his future, but what all will he do to get that job? Because he has listened to old music some kind of way. Are you ready? He might have asked the man D, the friend of his, are you ready? So they can get ready to go or anything like that. What is the scent of success? Because he was smelling it. The scent of success, it come in many colors. So he felt like, well, it could be me today. So opening up something to celebrate the success, right? That means a bottle, whatever it might have been, right? It was placed and it was touched, right? Even down to the car outside. The car was touched, the car door, what was placed was his coffee on top of the car. Okay? So he needed to get away from the thieves, right? So he know he ought to drop any thief. So this friend of his really was a thief, right? Even those people outside at the car, because his life was taken. God is a path from walking the right path. He's talking to God because he is a God person. Raised in church, so he knew about God up and down. Okay, he made it just to God. It's the path I'm walking the right. But he needed to look around the corners. Pay attention to details and flaws, being out there, standing by that car. He needed to be able to see, to hear the power of his mind, because he is a wanderer right then. He wasn't at his own house. He was at somebody else's apartment, outside, neighborhood. So he was considered a wanderer. He is outside. So it's like you wandering. Right? He's at the car. He wanted sensitivity from whoever these people was or person. He opened up something that was juicy, and I feel it was his coffee. Right? But he might have opened up the car door, and that might have been juicy because he turned on the heat because it was winter time. Because he was jet setting, maybe having the music on, or these people might have thought it was fun what they did. So he's focusing on his journey. He exercised his right to complain to his friend or to whoever these people at this car. He's going to bend a little and gently close the door on it. I guess on the car, warm the car up and then shut the door, or shut the door on an argument with whoever these people who approached him, or on his friend, as far as the friendship or whatever this might have been. Right, so somebody, okay, he wanted a pocket full at work. So he was trying to make a pocket full at work, so he already did a show that night, so he was going to Atlanta to make some more money. Follow me, anything like that. So let's just say, okay, universe. And let's talk about my nephew, but it's putting whoever. This is I'm trying to, so we have right here, something was seeping through. Okay, so we have right here, drive in my direction. I'll be waiting. So, those people or persons or whoever it was waiting, were lying in wait in that apartment building complex parking lot. And that car drove in a direction, but the car was sitting there already. They just needed somebody to come out of the building to go to the car. So they drove in my nephew's direction when my nephew was at the car, because they thought my nephew was the guy they was looking for. Okay? He had to fight for his sanity. Why did he hold on so long? Maybe just waiting for his friend, because his friend was dragging things around. He might could have asked somebody else for a ride, called somebody else, because his friend was delaying things a lot. Okay? So we have, let's see. He talked to a female. I hear my nephew in my mind. Slow things down, yeah. Still play my role. Don't get it. That's what you asked for. But now I'm a bad boy. I'm not a rapper, but I'm hearing it clear as day. Okay, let's see. Okay, so he talked to a female, or he was going to talk to a female, or he did talk to a business lady, because that night he was at a place before he went to his friend's house, and he just did a show, and the lady owned the place that he was at. Okay, so he needed transportation to be able to go to a training, a job, or whatever, and he did. He needed this friend of his that he hadn't seen in a long time, who came to that show he was at, offered to take him to the airport, so he needed transportation. Okay, the ex need to stay in the past, and it really was this person was the ex for him. Need to stay in the past. He need to drop his burdens and just get a ride from somebody else, because if he would have got a ride from somebody else, this wouldn't have happened to him, because he wouldn't have been there, because these people was after the other guy. So you hear when people say people in the wrong places at the wrong time, that can actually happen. He needed to go home because he was focused on jobs, right? So we have, he wanted equal and fairness, right? He might have been eating some kind of way. So we have, I'm scared, but you can call somebody. Now do it. So he couldn't, he couldn't get to his phone, or he didn't holler out or anything like that, probably for anybody. He was scared. He got scared when this occurred. So we have right here, it was time to act, because somebody promised that they was going to act. Act and do what? Murder the person who they was sent to murder. Follow me? But that person needed to put the brakes on things, because that person had the wrong person. Get what I just said? Don't need to be murdering anybody. So because the person who sent the person out to murder, because if they sent him home and they saying that he innocent, somebody murdered him. So that means it's somebody else, right? And if he was 29, to say it's 92 or 29, he was 29. Person could have been 23, 28, 21, 22, whatever the age was, right? Person need to do some soul searching and check this person's self, because we have right here the Bible, and my nephew knew the Bible up and down. Okay, so we got whatever pages of the Bible, books of the Bible, 401. 104. Take it however. Page 14, verse 14. Verse 1, verse 4, verse 41, chapter 41, however it's flowed. Let's see. Another episode. Yeah. If you want to slow things down. Slow your roll. Don't get upset when other ladies come around. That's what you asked for. Used to be good, but now I'm a bad boy. I'm not a rapper. I like when he said, oh, oh. Okay, let's see. He was going to see it for what it is because he had to beware of a Pisces. So that person, his friend, was a Pisces or a water sign person or act like one, or the person who approached him at the car. Black is beautiful. So he might have had music on, put music on, or we looking at that he was going into the door show in Atlanta, right? Black is beautiful. He knowing that black is beautiful, black music beautiful, or he was dealing with somebody who was racist, or somebody non-black, or somebody thought there's better than him that was his same race. Okay, he needed some self-love is key, and he needed to challenge that thing, right? Whoa, number 5, God's number of grace. So we have right here, he had a sixth sense about it all. Camouflage wouldn't work. A sixth sense about going to his friend's house, about being out by the car, or about getting a ride from his friend. I don't really think about going to the place because unless he was dealing with people of another race who was the managers or something. But other than that, so he in his storyline, he's the Gemini sign. He is going to be frank because he's dealing with a comrade. So I'm bruised, but I'm still me inside. He's going to be calm and conquer this thing. So somebody might have focused on how he looked because he was darker. He needed to leave destruction behind because he had a healing path. God says healing path. He was an earth angel. Yes, you're getting a reading for myself, the brass love 1, healer to row 9. It was a sensitive issue, but he needed to tell this person the truth. So, the person at the car or his friend, one of them. Person at the car who shot him or his friend. The person whose house he stayed at. I just don't know which one. Or if not either one of them, some manager or person who, oh yeah, he was hooked to a white man, whatever that guy name. He is white though. I don't know his name. But I don't think that man was saying nothing about his race or nothing. I mean, well, he don't look like he was a racist or nothing. I mean, I don't know. But he had to, he is knowledgeable. He had to put his name on a new job, God says, right here. It was going to be a meeting place. Yeah, I'm wearing these clothes, so a certain clothes he was going to wear there. Maybe the clothes he had on already or whatever. I just don't know. Okay? So it was a meeting place as far as these people who was going to do the murdering of his friend. D, right? And they had on certain kind of clothes, whatever they had on, whatever it may be, I just don't know. So we have that, he wasn't going to let his emotions stop him from going to another place. Maybe how he looked, or the clothes he had on, or he was tired out. So he had to have a clear mind because he got an epiphany, or the supernatural. Supernatural card could simply mean that he was seeing visions, or maybe it's not the dying card. He saw something. Supernatural, he saw something. That's his flow. Or he got some kind of epiphany or something came about. Whatever it was. So we have right here, he shouldn't wonder. He had to I can still, I can, I can still, I can still feel my God's mission. He shouldn't wonder. Because he had like that friend of his, that person, I feel, was gay. Needed that ride though, so he kind of had himself stranded being there. He had to wait and get that ride because he made himself stranded by going to that house. I think it was closer to the airport, I'm just not sure. So, and everybody else was going home. So sometimes you take whatever ride you can get, but sometimes it might not be the best ride. When it's all over with, it causes a bunch of problems for you. He is seeing everything in it and gaining a chopin and all, I guess. He is floating on in life, but here we have right here, his friend was living a secret life here. Whoa. And it says right here, he is gonna eye-to-eye contact, look straight, no biting his tongue, and talk to him. No what is it? Look him straight in the eye. Get straight to the point, eye-to-eye contact, no biting his tongue, and talk to the person. Because knowing all money is green. So with this card right here, knowing all money is green, it goes with, I feel, with this card up here, somebody making a proposition. Is that the phrase to say? Because I don't see no drugs right here. Get what I just said, right? Okay, so we have right here that somebody was banking on him. Like to check your credit. To check his credit. Okay, he had to be able to express his spirituality to this world and learn all the lessons God says necessary. So he was being adopted at the time. We'll find that my parents even matter. So being adopted just means right then he was stuck. He didn't have a car of his own right then to ride, so he was stuck with this person riding him. So he was stuck at that house. He was stuck at the car. When those people approached him, he was stuck. It's like you held. Okay, so he knew he was meant for greatness. He was trying to get to that show. I'm meant for greatness. He felt that was his big break. He had his mind on that show. But why did he allow others to mold him? Or he wasn't going to allow nobody to mold him. So we have right here that if he is searching for love, he had to start with himself. So having friends, making friends and all, sometimes you got to leave people behind. Okay? So we have him, that person, him, my nephew, the guy D, who house he stayed at for a minute, a couple hours before going to the airport. Well, he got shot, so he didn't get a chance to get to the airport. The guy, what's his name? The guy C, that culprit that was in jail for some years, a couple years or whatever, and trial came up and he got set free from 2 trials. Him or his woman, any of them, or even my nephew, all 4, any of them, whichever one's out of it, I don't know. One of them got some kind of IV, blood drawn, or some kind of shot. Okay. So we have right here that his friend didn't notice that he was of a different caliber. Or when he was at the car, the person didn't notice that he was of a different caliber. So if some fighting happened at the car some kind of way, the person might thought that the person he was a pushover maybe. If not that, is this person who gay? I feel. Okay, so thoughts was swirling in his mind at the duplex, and that would be sitting in the house waiting to leave, getting uncomfortable or whatever, things like that. He had to move fast on what was calling him forward, and that was to go. So he moved fast on what was calling him forward, so he went out to warm up the car to get ready to be in charge of his own life. He did a preview, and he saw he was on a battleground inside the house with this friend of his flirting, and actually outside when he was by that car because those people approached. He was in it for himself. That means going to get him a ride and gonna go to Atlanta, and it forced out to show off his skills. Get my drift, right? So he's going to travel. So he did travel to his friend's house, but he's going to travel to the airport also and then travel on a plane. But that didn't happen. But then we had a culprit. Like I said, if he didn't do it, he knew who did it because he sent the person to do it, right? Whoever he sent, right, was going to travel because the person was in it for the person's self. So the person was in it to make some money, to do a job. Get my drift, right? So we have dealing with a social club. So we had my nephew was dealing with his billfold, the billfold at a social club. So before he got in the car with this old friend of his, I think he ain't seen him in a long time. So you don't know what's going on with people if you don't see him in a long time. But so he didn't he got paid from the lady that owned the club, so he was dealing with his billfold at the social club, getting money. So this will be my nephew's card. Let me see something. Okay, so either he was high, if he wasn't high no kind of way, he was confused, anxious, sleepy, or anything like that with this card. He need to get his cell phone for help. So I feel when he this guy right here gave him the ride to get to where he was going at, up to the house, or when he is sitting in the guy's house, if this card go with that. But he might couldn't get to his phone. He's in his emotions, when his sensitiveness. This could be by the car. Okay, so I'm gonna is that it? So I'm gonna leave that alone. So I'm gonna say this my nephew's as far as that night, right? So you heard me say the original guy who went to court that they set free, right? That he had 2 trials and he still got off. Let's see how much I want here. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, listen. Okay, so that's a penny for your thoughts. I never ever saw until you hit me back. Okay, let's just see. Let me see something. Bear with me for a little bit. Let me see where I'm at. Activity on the phone. That's better. So is this going to be the guy? Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, let's get that right. Something. Okay. Push out our money. So I guess this is going to be D. So let's just say my nephew needs to rely on himself to elevate himself, right? And be sensitive always. Sensitive thinker always, and he walked away. Because his ex was trouble, God says, and he needs to get away from him. Because somebody was going to come get him, come get the ex, follow me? He need to soup it up for speedy recovery and just get away from this guy, right? Because this person was an ex-friend, I feel, somebody who he might didn't see in a long time. The ex is not for you, God saying it again. But the person feel like nobody perfect. So some kind of way this person beat him in some way. Maybe before where they might have been in fusses or whatever it might have been. I just don't know. Let's see. Seemingly he's special, but he was dedicated to the wall of being friends or being in connection or whatever's going on with this person. This person looked at him as weak back, and he is going to change and chance it all. So we have, he let him come over, welcome in for something to eat, but come over for right then so he can take him to the airport. This person wasn't valuing him, and my nephew wanted to go to Atlanta, I told you. So this person needed to respect my nephew. Follow me. So, because he said, you must respect me, because this guy was gay some kind of way, seemed like. He was hand in hand with the enemy. He was wishing for a good decision, because this person wanted jointness with my nephew, the trailblazer. So we have right here was a betrayal with this person, because he got stuck up there with him. Okay, he was thinking about his essential needs that he had to have a ride to get to the airport. So he wanted to plan his fortune, and he's going to take his best shot to plan his fortune and get this ride. But he was coupled off with Satan at one point. He just wanted peace though. So he was thinking of Philly way, having fun, and he liked style, like dressing up. Okay, it says right here, when he down, God said he got to read a book, and that would be the Bible, right? She did it. So we talking about the female right now. She did it. And what she did was, she just was the one that all of this ruckus started from in the first place, cheating on her man or whatever, right? So he fought me. So as far as D and the child's father of this female, I guess they fought each other in words or anything like that. Let's just see. Okay, so as far as my nephew out by the car, some kind of way, him and the person who shot him could have been fighting. I just don't know for sure. He was wearing certain kind of clothes, exaggerated things. So if he had that hood on, he couldn't see the car coming beside him, because he was focused on what he was doing. And the wind blowing and everything, because it was snow outside. It was snowing actually. It was snow out on the ground. Okay? That exaggerated things, God said, but it don't excuse the person's behavior. It is your time to be the conqueror. So that person felt like it was going to be their time to be the conqueror. Or the person who the female had the child by, he felt like it was his time to be the conqueror right now. So he might have had on all black. The person might have had on all black. So the person might felt like, well, I'm going to be the conqueror. I'm going to sneak you, or whatever was going on right here. Because it was some charged words, some attitude going on, maybe on the computer, or however it is connected. He is going to work on his problem, but it need not to be there at that time period, because you shot the wrong person. So we have right here that don't overkind. That means don't overdo it. So we have my, let me see something. So we have my nephew with this person he know. He need not overkind, don't overdo it, give or whatever, right? Sitting down eating maybe or something like that before he went out to the car maybe. He wanted to deviate from a conquest deal. I guess that means just get moving along, because he felt that he didn't want the person to use him anymore, because the person was jealous after a while, because he used to do something. They might used to do some kind of passing of pills or something. I feel it's something, right? The sounds of my nephew weighed the guy down, D, because he didn't want to hear him saying what he don't do no more. So if it's not that, we're going to go with the young lady and the main culprit, C, that he wanted to sit down and eat with her some kind of way, but she wanted to deviate from the conquest deal. She didn't want him to use her anymore, but he is tired of hearing her talk about she didn't want him anymore. He didn't want to hear that. Or we got the person at the car where some kind of way, person at the car and my nephew, person didn't want to hear what my nephew had to say, or my nephew wanted to deviate from the conquest deal, just get in the car, but this person wasn't having it or something like that. Okay, why? You give your ex power. So she gave her ex a lot of power. She needed to show her worth. But my nephew gave the ex power, his ex-friend, a lot of power here. It was transparent that his friend looked at him as a liability because his friend knew that somebody was after him, and he just allowed him to go out to his car when he already knew that somebody was after his hide, right? He was covering all his bases. He already knew it. It was plain and simple. But also the person who did the culprit, and the actual culprit is the father to this woman's child. Him, the main honcho. He is covering his bases. Plain and simple. Because he looked at the new guy, and that would be D, as a liability. He wanted him out of the way because he didn't want no competition. He was banking on it, that he easy. So something happened 2 times. It was an S show. Whatever it was, trying to get him before, or fussing with him before, or him and his woman being together, or whatever this is, I don't know. So if we take it to my nephew, D, his friend, looked at my nephew as easy, was banking on it, and he might have did some flirting, and it might was the second time. Follow me? My nephew felt the moisture, what they took from him, and he was trying to get out of there, and that might be why he went to go warm up their car on his own instead of letting the man warm up his own car because it was uncomfortable. Or my nephew was out there at the car, and whoever these people is or person is, he wanted to deviate from being with whoever this is talking about his car. The sounds of my nephew weighed the person down. He didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. He didn't see the worth in my nephew. He looked at my nephew as transparent. He's a liability. He looked at him as easy. Something might have happened 2 times, and it might have been saying something, fussing, hitting, or whatever. And my nephew felt the moisture what they took from him. So somebody wanted to spend some time. Okay, show me the back end, where we going, where it is getting us at. So my nephew spent time as far as being at this house with this friend of his. But and then so we have the young lady, her guy wanted her back, wanted to spend some time with her. She wanted to know, well, where this going, what do you want from me, or whatever, anything like that. Or we got the people at the car with my nephew. They came pulling up or whatever, and he might have said something, and he might say, what do you want, or whatever he said. I don't know what he said. So we have, will you trust the person? So my nephew saw that this guy who was a friend of his was down low, or down low and dirty, or both, right? So we have the culprit. He was down low and dirty, or he was on the down low also. I just don't know. I'm going to use the card either way, or the person who actually did the crime. Somebody is, follow me. Okay, so we got some wrapping up every time, right? So somebody want to wrap things up and pray about things, right? So let's flow about it. I'm not flow about it. Let's move it along, right? So want to do whatever it is to do and just wrap it up. So if he do a show, let's wrap this thing up and just go on. Okay, so he didn't know the cause of the person's anger. So if my nephew and this person he knew, he didn't know the cause of his friend's anger. Well, I know the cause. If the person flirting and you ain't giving in, that's gonna make the person be angry. But the person at the car, he didn't know the person's anger because he probably didn't know this person at the car. Okay, so this person at the car stamped his name on it to have money in the bank because he was paid to murder D. Get what I just said, right? So we have pills. So we got pills. You can get them anytime. So either somebody selling pills some kind of way, or somebody just was on pills, right? Or was trying to just get some pills to take at the time, right? So that would be D over there, the guy who jumped out the car, or my nephew. I just don't know, right? However it's flowing, right? So we have, that's why we can't make it. It's challenging. So that's why we can't make it. My nephew and D, because if he's flirting or whatever, that's going to be a turn off. But if some kind of way, some kind of money deal was going on, and that would be a problem too, right? If there's nothing like that with those two, maybe the guy who was at the car door, if not him, the main culprit. Follow me? Person feeling the person's time abusing. So with my nephew and D, that person he abusing by flirting. That's abuse, right? Or at the car, he was being abused because he got shot 7 times. That's abuse. Follow me? So my nephew wanted to embrace his growth because he loved green. And the green on here stands for money. Follow me? So if we have the one D or the one Calvin, they wanted to embrace their growth maybe because they love green. So somebody might have been selling pills. Can I be honest about it? Okay. So we have yeah. But how much would it take for any of them to leave, right? So for my nephew and neighbor, for him to leave, he needed to go warm up their car to feel like he getting somewhere to go. So he went out. So somebody facilitated something, but my nephew shouldn't have went along with it. So the guy D might have said, do you want some pills? Do you want to buy some or anything like that? Because I'm trying, because I see stamping money on card. And that comes from something, right? We got pills right under it. So you want some or you want to sell some or whatever he might have said. I just don't know, right? They had money in the bank. They had some extra money or whatever he might have said, right? Anything like that. Or if it's not that, he told him to go warm the car up or anything like that. So here we got a romantic card. We are a couple for, we are a couple. We friends and all, but I'm going to change the card around a little bit because it say we're a couple for more than just sex. So let me just change the card around a little bit. We friends, but can we throw some romance in there? I'm trying to turn it around because if just a friend of yours and the person you ain't seen them in a while and they seem like they coming on to you now, you feel like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because the card says if you want to know, ask the person, are you gay? Get what I'm saying, right? So maybe this person was coming on. Oh, we friends, but can we throw some romance in? He didn't say romance. The word say sex on the card, but I'm just saying romance. Follow me? Maybe uncomfortable, facilitated. Okay, so he was going to go warm up this car to get out of there. Okay. Or we have the couple, the female and her child's father. Somebody has some kind of sexual issue, some kind of way. Because remember, you heard me say about the shot. You remember me say about a shot, Ivy. You heard me say those things, right? Or blood drawing, right? So that can go with the card that's in the other one that stands for infection. So somebody could have had an infection out of any of them, however it's called. So we have somebody who a pill pusher. This person don't take pills. This person sell them. So we'll put that with D, I feel. Looking at the structure of, right? Okay. He is going to be already available. I'm sure I'm available. So my nephew asked for that ride. And he said that he was available to take him. So we have whatever day. It don't have to be a Monday or Saturday. So limits were sky high because he wanted to go to the to Atlanta, right? So he was dealing with a money lover, a pusher of money, a person who do anything for money. Once somebody do anything for money, they will kill their own mother. If you got this card come down, okay? He wanted equal and fair, and he pinpointed a problem. So maybe he's talking to my nephew about some pills. Follow me? Because we got the equal and fair card. Trying to do something strategic. Okay. Help was coming for him. He had to stop thinking he deserved abuse. God says, my nephew. Okay, he was isolated. But why did he believe this person? Because once he was isolated at that house, this person was coming on to him. Person rose to the occasion, but he had to rise to the occasion given to him. No longer will he be filtered, and he had to just say what he had to say back. Because we have right here, he was going full force. It's fun to grow his business. But he is going to go full force to go and be able to make music. Because he was. So we had the next card. He had captured the opportunity at the lighthouse. So the lighthouse is hospital, church, rehab, drug treatment, or Alcoholics Anonymous. So my nephew goes to church. So let's see. So we have right here that. So we have someone is a money machine. So he had to let this person know that he didn't want to do that, straighten them out. Because bills was piling up, debts was piling up, a lot of money was spent maybe as far as getting pills or whatever this is. Let's say, release your loved one. The person is still here, you still have a life. So don't die with the person. So right here, I feel the person was this card right here. This person offering money, offering him money to lay down beside him. Or we can take it the God way. So we have somebody is a money machine, and you got to tell the person what it is and what it ain't, because he got deceived right here. So he got all the way there to the person's house, and the person is like, So this person is doing anything for money. Right here, so you like the person doing anything for money. D, this person here. So let me turn this on. I'm ready to do the other one. I gotta get these in.